Welcome, welcome. Dr. Stephen Hobbs here from the Wealth Movement, sharing a tip about co-creating the well-living workplace. Every day, probably every half hour, we're making some kind of decision, and some of them are quite major. And they're important in the well-living workplace is because of this notion of co-creation. And therefore, it goes beyond a little bit more than just decision-making, which is to select from the alternatives the way forward. It's really about ethical decision making, and it's about selecting from the alternatives the way forward with an ethical lens. Now, what becomes important here is to understand that ethics is something that we share between us when we work together. There is the concept of morals, which I would associate with up to your skin, and ethics is from your skin out. So when we're interacting with other people, and therefore in co-creating the well-living workplace, then ethical decision-making becomes very important. And it's from this perspective that if we understand what are the ethical values that can help formulate that decision-making, then that's a major step forward. And that's what I'd like to share with you right now. And there are 7 ethical values that I think I'll put on the table today. There's others who might say there's 6, there's 8, there's 9. I'm going to put 7 on the table. The first one is the accountability, to account for. If you're associated with your job, you've been given your tasks to do, then you're accountable for those, to get those done. Another one is the concept of caring, and that's this notion of kindness and taking care of one another. And there's a difference between being careful and careless and caring. And when you understand those distinctions, it becomes really an insightful way to make decisions about assisting one another. Another one is this whole idea of community and citizenship. Is that if you're forming community in the workplace and co-creating it and creating communities of practice, communities of significance, then it's important to get involved, just like this notion of citizenship, get involved in what's happening in your community, to get involved in what's happening in your country, and to be able to get involved in such a way as that your contribution can make a difference, your perspective can make a difference to what's happening in other people's lives and in the decisions that are made in the workplace. Another one is this area of fairness and justice, is that as you go about making your decisions, is it fair and just to those who are going to receive the actions because of those decisions? And is there some sense of consistency? It's not like one group of people gets one thing and another group of people gets another. One department gets something and another department doesn't get something. There's an element of working through the decision making to be fair and just in your approach. Another one is this whole area of hospitality. Now, this is a little bit of a new one for me, and it's come about from my travels and working with lots of different kinds of workplaces all around the world. And I associate hospitality as this. It's about welcoming those who've not arrived yet. Because once they've arrived, then the other ethical values would kick in, but it's the preparation for those who are to arrive. If you think about it from an inbound onboard of new employees, how do you bring a vendor and contractors in who are not there on a day-to-day basis, but still work with them in such a way as to get the decisions made using an ethical lens? That's about hospitality. Another one is this whole area of respect, and that I regard you with this respect. I see what it is you contribute, and I appreciate it, and I have this deep regard for you. That's what the respect is about. And the last one that I would offer up is trustworthiness, or this notion of trust, and that you're worthy of the trust, and we share it, that we're worthy of the trust between us and together. And these 7 ethical values are what gives us a head start in our ethical decision making. It's a really great way of framing up how to make your decisions. I went so far as to actually create a 10-step ethical decision-making process that I highlight and make available through the course on organizational health. Another way is this co-creating the well-living workplace. Remember, healthy workplace, healthy organization. And you can find out more about this course at wealthmovement.com/organizational-health. And I think you'll find it a fascinating course that provides the 10 dimensions of the well-living workplace. And it's a great baseline, a foundational element to build your business, your workplace, but also to grow the relationships and the connections among people. So again, that website link will be put below the video, and I encourage you to drop by and take a look at what's available. And with that, I also am going to list out the Josephson Institute. I think they're a great non-sectarian, nonpartisan organization in the United States that looks at this whole story of ethics and decision making. It's a great place to start as well if you're looking to dive in a little bit deeper. So with that, ethical decision making, co-creating the well-living workplace, they go together. Take care.